In this experiment, I will be using the Head Prestige Mid, the 2018 version. It's the model with the 93 square inch head size, and with it I'll be using the Wilson W Dampener. So like in previous experiments, I placed the dampener at 3 different positions on the string bed. In the first experiment, I'll have the dampener at the bottom of the string bed, like so. In the second experiment, I'll have the dampener halfway up towards the bottom cross string. We call it the midpoint. And in the third and final experiment, I'll have the dampener resting on the bottom cross string, and we'll have a look at the serves in percentage and the average serve speed, see if we can draw any conclusions from it. The string for this experiment is the Head Sonic Pro 17. So in previous experiments, I've been using Wilson Revolve 17. This string is a little bit softer according to the Tennis Warehouse University. If you look at the string performance database, it's not a little bit softer, it's quite a way softer. So we'll see what kind of effect it has on the data that matters to us. So let's get to it. So for the low dampener, the serves in percentage came in at 40%, the average serve speed came in at 65 miles an hour, and the maximum was 121. For the midpoint, the serves in percentage came in at 41%. The average serve speed was 63 miles an hour and the maximum was 108 miles an hour. For the dampener placed on the bottom cross string, the serves in percentage came in at 29%. The average serve speed was 71 miles an hour, and the maximum serve speed was 109 miles an hour. Looking at the data pulled from the low dampener experiment, the serves in percentage came in at 40%. The average serve speed was 65 miles an hour, and the maximum was 121 miles an hour. But I'm not really going to look too much into that because 121 miles an hour for me is ridiculous. I don't think I served that quickly, but that's the data that was recorded. More importantly, the average serve speed was 65 miles an hour. So looking at it, the string bed still felt a little bit soft. This isn't a setup that I would use in a tournament situation, a match situation, or even in a practice situation. It's more just a bit of fun, or maybe if you have wrist injuries, elbow injuries, shoulder problems, something along that line. It's not really a serious setup, at least in my opinion. And so therefore I'm gonna rate it 38 out of 100. It's not a good rating, but hey, it was fun to test. So for the midpoint, the serves in percentage came in at 41%. The average serve speed came in at 63 miles an hour, and the maximum came in at 108 miles an hour. So again, I'm not sure I can serve 108 miles an hour, but that's the data that was recorded, still 3 figures. And more importantly, again, I always look at the average serve speed as more of an indicator of how effective the setup is. So 63 miles an hour, it's still too low. It's not usable in a tournament situation, certainly. Maybe in a practice situation for a bit of fun, see how it gets on. But, you know, even the serves in percentage, the consistency percentage, is not high enough to really counteract that low average serve speed. So I'm not impressed with it, not really happy with it. I will rate it 40 out of 100, a little bit higher than the previous experiment. That's only because the setup felt a little bit stiffer, and so I felt like I had a little bit more control. But likely this is going to be discarded. Cool racket though. So looking at the data pulled from the experiment with the dampener on the cross string, the serves in percentage came in at 29%, which is not a deal breaker. I know that seems remarkably low, but it's not a deal breaker. In the past, I've used setups with percentages around 30, and you can adapt. It's definitely still usable, but the average surf speed must be on average higher than the setup you currently use. So if we look at the average for this setup, it's 71 miles an hour, which for me, my minimum is 70 miles an hour. For me, that's quite high. And the maximum surf speed is 109 miles an hour. So again, breaking the 3-figure barrier for me. Comparing it to the previous two, I felt it didn't feel stiffer than the midpoint, and it felt similar to the setup with the dampener at the bottom of the string bed. So quite soft, unusual. If I was to use the O dampener, the Pros Pro O dampener, and I placed it on the cross string, it in every situation I've used, which is about 100 times, the string bed feels stiffer. So there's something about these Wilson W dampeners, when you place them on the bottom cross string, sometimes they don't make the string bed feel stiffer. So it's important to test and see how it comes out in the experiments, in practice, and go from there. So looking at all of that, taking all of that into account, I've given this setup a 52 out of 100 rating. So no one passed with flying colours, no setup passed with flying colours, unfortunately. I won't be switching to this, but the experiment was a lot of fun, and yeah, not too bad. It's a pretty cool racket, one of the best looking rackets, I think. But that's not why we're here. That's not why we test these rackets. Who cares what they look like? Yeah, anyway, that's it for now. I've got a lot of experiments coming out in future. Be sure to check them out, and yeah, have fun hitting. What's happening? Why is it recording?
Because it's doing that.
It's not working.